Hello, I'm April Brown. I am a victim of Manny Regalado, and he is a con man. He's currently operating in King County. He moved up here to King County a few years back and opened up a company called A to Z Contracting Corporation. He performed contractor jobs in King County without a license. If that were all it were, I wouldn't be making these videos. That is literally the only law that Manny Regalado broke. Uh, with that conviction, through the Washington State Attorney General, Lisa Roth, filed for public records on that. It frightened him. It's the first time he's ever appeared in court, and now this was during the pandemic. So the case was handled over the phone. And during that case, it was him and me and the judge, and I don't know who else on the other side, and this Washington State Attorney General. She brought the case. During the case, one of the things he started and tried to get into evidence was a personal relationship with me. Now, why would he do that? Well, when I figured out that he embezzled all this money, bought tools, kept returns through gift cards, things like that, when I discovered all that, I took it up to the City of Shoreline Police Department, and it looked as if they were going to move forward. Well, I gave him all the evidence, the receipts, all of that. I even believe I gave him all of his text messages. Maybe not. Well, I'm going to make sure those text messages are available to you as well. Mainly, I guess I'm putting myself out there to show how you can be conned. And when you think you can't be conned, trust me, you can be conned. Well, anyway, he convinced this detective Laura Alspa from the she's head of fraud at the City of Shoreline, that I was his lover. And in fact, she said it was a case of he said, she said. You can file for public records on that. That should be in her notes. I know what she said. I was there. And so they dropped the case. She believed him. Well, so it worked there, so he tried it on the Washington State Attorney General. Well, wouldn't you know, out of the blue, he files a small claims action against me. And it's because I've been writing. I've been writing on him since this happened. And you'll find those articles in Medium. I also have a lot of videos already online. And I'm just telling you, nobody cares. When you're a victim of construction fraud, it's suddenly civil. Then you got problems with those assholes at the Planning Commission, rejections by the insurance company, rejections by the bonding company, and no ability to hire an attorney. And if you lose, you have to pay the attorney fees. So you see, these guys have carte blanche in King County, and I'm sure everywhere. But he's up here from LA County because he's burned himself down there. File for public records under Manny Regalado, Manny Leon Regalado. Now he's got I'll tell you. So what he did after he was convicted by the Washington State Attorney General, he changed his name to Manny Leon Reale, Reale. He got married, okay? He started a new business name. He dumped that, and now he's with selling things to these train hobbyists, okay? So he's really reinvented himself. And this is what this video is about today. Manny is now married. If you're looking for him, the judgments do not expire. And he has 11 down in Los Angeles County. He now has marital assets. Now, I don't know what they are. I don't care about what's going on with his wife. They're not going to be married long. Con men don't stay married. Con men are Yep, they sure are. And so you have to know that this is what cons do. They keep reinventing themselves over and over. And listen, women are suckers. Women are suckers. So are men, but more women are harmed by these petty cons, the guys that are so nice and you treat like your grandson. When I first started hiring contractors to work for me, I'd invite them over for Sunday dinner. Well, it's all downhill from there. And if I'm eating a cook, well, they're all over your house. So you make cookies. Yeah, who doesn't offer cookies to these men? They all act like little boys. Manny does that a lot. He goes to his little boy, poor me, and then he tucks his chin. When someone tucks their chin, run. They're lying. They're manipulating you, and he uses that all the time. Well, I'm going to post what I found in public records with all this stuff that I'm telling you about. They are here in this video. You can just screen capture them. One day I'll get savvy about all of it. I will also put these up on Scribd. And I have also prepared a flyer, a letter, with all this information, and I'm mailing it to all those attorneys and the judgments that I can find. So this is my deal. Why are we so afraid of these men? That's why they're getting away from it. You notice that men are afraid of them too. No one of all the people he brought in and out of here during the con said a word. They said nothing. In fact, he actually convinced a guy, the hardwood floors guy, to build a 8.5 step and a 9-inch step, which all had to be torn out, instead of 3 6-inch. The guy knew nothing. It was a show. He was always showing off and diverting. He would be doing wiring, and all of a sudden he'd be over here mending a fence. And you're just like, and he's acting like he's doing you a favor, right? The guy's always acting like he's doing you a favor. He did another thing. While he was embezzling, sometimes he needed cash to go grab something. They never have anything. They're always having to buy something, right? Well, I didn't know he was buying it with my credit card. So he came, I had to give him cash for some part. He comes back and he goes, "Oh, don't let me forget to give you this. I wouldn't want you to think I'm stealing it." Right then I thought, well, why would you think I was stealing? I thought you were a thief. Because you're a thief. He gave me a lot of signs, and I did pay attention to him at the time, but once again, the best cons are patient. He's a very patient con. Some of the people he conned down in Los Angeles were long-time associates through another company, Ron Swing Interiors. And 6 years, 3 years, 2 years. He had people, they thought that they were his friend. One guy expecting a baby. Didn't have any trouble taking their money at all. The one thing about him being married now, you've got to pounce right now, because they're not going to last. Cons don't stay married. Why? Because the women they married take him home to meet mother, and mother's like, that guy's a con. So I bet he hasn't met her mother. Bet you anything. I know she hasn't met his, because his is either, as he said she was Italian. He doesn't speak any Italian. And his father's Hispanic of the same name. Sadly, poor guy. In fact, Manny, when we did finally think all of our bells were going off over there about him, he did weird things, But when we ran his name, his father's name came up. And Manny said, yes, all those cases in Los Angeles are against his dad, because he used to hire his dad to work for him at Ron Swing Interiors. Of course, when I interviewed them, they didn't say a word about his dad working for him, but they did mention his wife and kids, and how wonderful and cute and sweet. And apparently his family's a really nice family, but he's not. So, okay, well, I'll put these up without me talking. They speak for themselves. Also, file for public records in King County under Manny Reale, Reale. And all this comes up. By the way, he owns no property. He owns nothing. So, but she probably does. She doesn't look like a slacker to me. Also, as a disclaimer, I am not doxing Manny Regalado, Manny Reale. I'm not doxing him. He went on to Como, and that's how I knew where he was. I had no idea. I didn't know he changed his name. He goes on Como and pretending like he owns this landlord's property, which is where his current wife lived. So he went from squatting on Alex Brendan's house and moved in with her. Is that a coincidence? When he moved up here, he was always asking me about I have a big guest building in back. He wanted to move in there. He always wanted to move in there. He was going to finish it for pay. Anytime someone can't afford to rent from you and they're going to finish for pay, it's a bad deal. You can't supervise them at all. You can't go into that apartment. You can't kick him out. It took this Alex Brendan almost 2 years to get the guy out of there. And he's got 2 more of those down in California that I found. There's probably more. I doubt that guy's paid for anything. If he has, it's been with OPM, baby. All right, here comes those documents. So I'm not doxing. And then he filed, the other reason is all this other information's a public record because he took me to court for sexual harassment. Well, actually, he took me to court claiming I was stalking and harassing his children, which I never knew their names or where they lived. I really never knew that. Well, now I do, because he made it a public record, the dope. And then when he gets to court, he never says a word about it. Instead, he says, I was sexually harassing him. He said it by saying, I kept trying to get him to go upstairs, and the judge said, for what? He said to have sex with her. So it took me every day, I guess, trying to have sex with him, yet he told Detective Laura Allspa that I was his jilted lover and that I told him he could have my credit card, and she believed it. See, so 71, I'm still a piece of ass. That's all I gotta say, and that's the way you are. You're just a piece of ass. The other thing when you're older, I sadly have to say, is no matter how you feel, you are being judged as if everything you learned in 71 years just went away. And you're this person that's a victim because you are. There is not one person in government that offered to help me as a person. I would say that Washington State Attorney General was fabulous, and that Tyler Remington with King County. But no one said, can I help you? No, you're on your own. So you think old women aren't tough? Geez, we're not going to let you walk all over us. Some do. Some do. And that's why it's important to keep learning and not cutting yourself off from information. And a lot of people close down out of fear. Everyone wants you to be afraid of them. And we are. We are. When you can watch a cop kill someone and all these men are standing around and they're too afraid of the cops, then you look over at the cops and the cops are afraid of the cops. Everyone's afraid. So no one's going to step up and help some old lady. I could be on the street right now if I didn't have family. So before you judge all these homeless people, all their stories aren't the same. No, it's the despair the government agencies cause in your life. They're more about enforcement and punitive versus what can we do to enhance my citizen's life. No, it's a very brutal regime, the way our government has evolved. I mean, if a cop can shoot you for shoplifting, We used to have to write an essay when we got caught shoplifting, and that essay worked. It's humiliating. You'd have to write 100 pages of I will not shoplift. Well, it worked. Sometimes the boys would go to juvie hall. Sometimes the girls would. It'd be for driving your parents' car. Well, they'll kill you today if you drive your parents' car. And they don't shoot one bullet. They shoot hundreds of bullets to kill one driver. And here's all these stray bullets going around. And if you get killed by one, oh well. It's the way people have lost control of their minds. So all you have to do is be your own cop. So that's why I'm making these videos. Maybe he'll find a rich old lady. When he marries her, you can pounce because those judgments don't expire. And if you know anyone down in California that he's conned, please, please share my videos and tell them to. It won't cost them anything. If they've got a good attorney, they just file one piece of paper and you got your judgment. And whatever either one of them ever does in a salary can be garnished. And then the IRS will pounce down on him too, because you know he doesn't report his income. I don't care what anyone says. Wonder if that's a public record. Well, an attorney can find out. So, and I wonder if he pays his child support. You know, a dishonest person is dishonest in all things. If you're married to a guy that does something like this, what do you think he's doing to you? He's setting you up for the kill. He's setting you up for the kill. There is no love in that guy's heart. You should have seen him in action over here. It was all an act. But in person, I haven't seen him in 4 years. In person, you don't need any character witnesses. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you, by the way, these are public records. They're not doxed. He doxed himself. Here you go. You can also probably get an audio recording of that hearing. I'll get it. It was in King County, and I believe the case numbers are in the description here. So, all right.